Welcome, Math 10, to Retire and Mixed Radicals Part 2. So today we're just going to start with a little warm-up on converting the following into a mixed radical. Let's take a look at this one here. We have the cubed root of 54. Well, if it's cubed root, this 3 means we need 3 of a kind to take out the house, if we remember. So let's try and do our factor tree and see if we can take out 3 of a kind. Well, I know this can be divided by 2, which will give me 27. Okay? Then I divide this by 3, and I get 9. 3 and 3. So I look at this, I have 1, 2, 3's. So I have 3 3's and 1 2. So I do have a group of 3 that I could take out the house. So we have 3 root, square root of 2. Okay? Or I could have done it the other way and did root 2 or cubed root. Sorry, this is cubed root 2. I could have gone cubed root 2 multiplied by cubed root 27, and I know that is 3 cubed root 2. Okay? Almost forgot my cubed root. Make sure you write in that cubed root there. All right, let's try my next question. So here we have the cubed root of 6,000. How do I solve this one? Once again, first thing we do is we're going to factor tree. Or we could separate. I like to factor tree. You could separate. Whichever one you like, you do. But I'm going to factor tree. So I'm going to have 6 multiplied by 1,000. Okay? 2 and 3. 10 and 100. 10 and 10. Well, I just look at this here. I have a set of 10s. Okay? I could do more. If I want, I could break down to 2 and 5s, and I have 3 2s, 3 5s, and we multiply them back in, and it's going to give me 10. So let's take a look. We have 2 multiplied by 3. These guys don't have partners. They have the sets of 10s, the triplets. So that gives me 10 root 6, cubed root 6. That's cubed root. We wanted triplets. This next one here, with that 5, that means we need pairs of 5s to come out, okay? Well, let's break this down. I have 10 and 32. It's going to be 2 and 5. This is the same as 4 and 16, or 4 and 8, right? Well, that gives me the same as 2 and 2, 2 and 4. Okay, so we look at it this way. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2's. So I have 5 2's, 6 2's, 5. So I have 5 2's, one set of 5 2's, but I have one 2 that would be left out. So we have 2, and we have 2 multiplied by 5, which is 2 fifth root, we need 5 of 10. And that's it. Now the next one is we have a negative and it's cubed root. But if we remember, for the odd numbers, we could have a negative inside for the radicand. So let's try this out. I'm going to break this down. I know I have 4 and 4, right? Well, I break that down more. I could have 2 and 2, 2 and 2. Well, I have 3 2's I could take out. So I could take out a 2, cube root, negative 2. I could go like that, okay? Or, if I wanted, I could have said negative 2, cubed root 2, which probably could have been your better answer, because all of these could have been negative. Okay? There we go. So now let's try the reverse. We're going to put mixed numbers into whole radical numbers. Okay? So now we're going the reverse. So it's like going clockwise, now we're going counterclockwise. Okay, so 1/2 into there. Well, this is saying we took out 3 1/2s. We need 3 1/2s being multiplied in to take out. Well, that's the same thing. We know cube root, we need 3 of these putting into the house, so I'm going to have the cube root of 80 multiplied by 1 over 2, multiplied by 1 over 2, multiplied by 1 over 2. Okay? Which gives me, this is 1 over 8, and multiplied by 80 is going to be 10. So it gives me the cube root of 10. That's it. Now let's try these ones here. Okay? So we have 2 going into the 4th root of 3. So in order to move this out, we needed 4 2's, right? So it's going to be We're going on the opposite, so we need 4 2, so it's 2 multiplied by 2, multiplied by 2, multiplied by 2. Okay? So I end up getting 3 multiplied by 16. That's the fourth root. So this is left with 48. And we want the fourth root of 48, just like that. Let's try the next one here. So we have negative 4 going into this. So negative 4 must be multiplied in how many times? 3 times, because of that little 3. So I'm going to have square root of 7 multiplied by negative 3, or sorry, negative 4 multiplied by negative 4 multiplied by negative 4. Okay? So that's going to give me 64 multiplied by 7. That's negative. Okay, so I do this. I'm going to get 420 plus 28 is going to give me 448, I believe. 420 plus 28, yep, 448. And this is all cubed root. Okay? Let's take a look at my next one. We want 2/5 multiplied in 3 times. Same idea. 3, and we multiply in that 2/5 3 times. So we have 100, and I'm going to multiply by 2 over 5, multiply by 2 over 5, and multiply by 2 over 5. 3 times. Okay? So that's going to give me, multiply all of these together, 8 over 125. Or I could go like that. That could be divided by 5, and that will give me 20. Right? And divide it again, that will give me 4. And we have 4 multiplied by 8, all over 5, which will end up giving me 8 times 4 is 32. So I want the cubed root of 32 all over 5. Now let's try with these variables here. So we're going to see if we are very able and try with these variables. Hopefully you get it. Now put them into simplest form. Okay, so we have square root of a to the 7. Well, this is the same thing as a multiplied by a to the 6, and then we're going to have a multiplied by a to the 5, or in other words, it is the same thing as saying a multiplied by a multiplied by a multiplied by a 7 times, multiplied by a, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, multiplied by a, multiplied by a. So how many of these do we have here? 7 a's. And we need pairs to lead. So I have 1 pair, 2 pairs, 3 pairs. So I have a multiplied by a multiplied by a, and then square root a left. So that's a cubed square root a. See how that works? Let's take a look at t to the 9. Well, this means I have 9 t's. If I was to write this out, we would have 9 t's, right? Well, I look at that. Now, everyone needs a pair. So out of those 9 t's, we'll have 4 of them with a pair. So that's 8 t's gone. There's 1 t left over. So that's t to the power of 4, and we have 1 t left over. This next one here, we want triplets, right? So let's write this out. It's like saying x, 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 x. And we need 3 x's, or triplets, which are these 3 here. So we could take out an x, because it's cubed root. Okay? This 4 belongs to that one there, so we don't get confused. And we're left with cubed root x and x. So that's x cubed root x squared. And that's it. Now here, let's take a look at my last one. So it's the same as this one, except it says we want 3 x's in this. Okay? 3 x's with x to the 7. So I leave this. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we have how many triplets? 1, 2. We have 2 triplets. So that's x multiplied by x, and we're left with x to the cubed root. So that's x squared, and here we're going to be with x cubed root. And that's it. All right? So here are now some real pickles to try. Let's try this one here. So how many x's, how many y's can we get? So let's first try expanding. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 y's. I look at that, and I have 1, 2, 3 x's, so that's x, 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 and 1, 2 y's, so that's y, y, and there's only one y left in the square root sign. So that gives me x to the power of 3, y squared, and then we want square root of y. Okay? Let's try the next one here. We want the square root of all of that. Let's factor this all out. This is the same as 2 and 9, 3 and 3. So I know I can take out a 3. And that means there's 3 x's, so I know I can take out a pair of x's, right? What are we left with? Inside, 2 and another x. That's it. Or I could have just wrote out all the factors underneath and taken out all the pairs. That's another way. Okay? Now let's take a look at this one here. We have 40 and then all that. We need groups of 3. So this is 4 and 10, 2 and 5, 2 and 2. I have a group of 2's. So 2's. But I'm still left with a 5 on the inside, right? This 5 is still left there. Now x's. Do I have pairs of x's? Yes, I do. To there. I have 3 x's to take out, and there's going to be 1 x left. And here, 9's, I have 3 sets of y's to take out. And there's going to be none left. So this is essentially going to be my answer. That 3's corresponds to the y. Okay? And it is the cubed root. Okay? So if you want, I'll write it out more neatly for you because that looks kind of sloppy. And there we go. There's your answer. Okay? And that is everything. Hopefully you understood it. And I'll see you tomorrow. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. See you tomorrow.